everyone. My name is Hannah Bothner, and I am the Short Film Program Director for Tallgrass Film Festival. Today, we are here speaking with for some directors, creators, filmmakers of the Merging Filmmakers program. And I'm going to go ahead and let them introduce themselves and tell you about their film and what film or what they did for the film. We'll start with you, Ava.
Hi, I'm Ava Bounds and I live in England. So my film is Hello Frisco, and I finished editing the film a couple of months ago. And so I just want to create like a really happy, jolly, fun film with a weird twist at the end. And I hope you all enjoyed it. Yeah.
And next we'll talk to Gabrielle.
Hi, I'm Gabrielle. I live in Canada, and my film is Escape from the Garden, or a Tapestry in 3 acts. And I was the sole person to work on the film. And it's a documentary about my family and my place within my family. So, yeah.
Incredible. And Spencer?
Hi, my name is Spencer Nicklaus. I'm from Los Angeles, California, and my film is titled Cavity, and it's a half digital animation, half stop motion short film. It's like super crazy and wacky. I had a lot of fun working on it.
And Grace.
Hi, Grace. I'm Orange. Film Perennial is about the wildfires that were happening in my area a few months ago, or like last year now, and one of the business owners there whose business burned down as a result, and kind of like the aftermath of that and what he was feeling. So yeah, I'm really excited to be here.
And I'll start with you, Grace. How did you find your subjects? How did you get connected with your subjects for your documentary?
So after the wildfire, I was kind of calling around businesses in the area. And then when I talked to him, he actually said he lived down the street from the generator that sparked the entire fire. So it was really cool being able to talk to him. And I kind of just called around the area to different businesses, but it came really swiftly to his home. So I thought that he would be a really good person to interview.
Incredible. And similar question for you, Spencer. What was your inspiration for making your film?
My inspiration behind my film was like a lot of the like Adult Swim and Cartoon Network commercial breaks that I watched as a kid. And I just really wanted to like tap into that feeling of like, oh, this is so like weird but really intriguing. And I try to make something like that.
Absolutely. And Gabrielle, why did you decide to make a documentary about your family?
I'd always wanted to make a documentary about specifically my grandmother, whose art I used in the film. And I was in my last year of film school at the school that I was attending. And I'd put off making the project for a very long time because I didn't feel like I had the skills to adequately tell the story that I wanted to tell. And then I just decided that it was the right time. And also the last project that I was ever going to make at that school. So I just decided to go for it.
Absolutely. And Ava, similar question. I think you talked about this a little bit earlier, but what was your inspiration for wanting to make the film that you made?
Well, I don't really want to spoil it, but I won't spoil it. But the idea for the twist at the end first came to me, and then it kind of all sprang from that, really. And yeah.
Absolutely. Well, the viewers watching this will have seen your films, but the interesting thing about these conversations is that a lot of times that your fellow filmmakers have not seen your film. So it's always funny to watch people's faces when you're talking about your film, when people are talking about their films. I want to next ask each of you, and we can start with you again, Ava. We can start with you, Ava. What is your favorite part of the filmmaking process? I know it's really hard to pick a favorite, but you have one.
I've got to say, well, once you've done all the preparation, I think actually shooting it, being on set, is just great because of, I don't know, the energy, because everyone comes together and it's really fun. So I think, yeah, the shooting is my favorite.
Absolutely. And Gabrielle?
I would say probably like post initial edits, when you start showing projects to people who you want feedback from, because I find that I end up thinking about something that I've been putting my entire life into for however long, I start thinking about it in a completely different way, and it takes on a new shape, and I get sort of like a last burst of energy with that creative project. So that's probably my favorite.
And Spencer.
With this film, I didn't really have an order for how the scene normally I would like make a storyboard and have every scene planned out, but for this one I would just kind of make scenes and then I arranged it at the end. So I'd say my favorite part of the process for this one is when I first edited it together and I saw that like kind of made sense and it was like really like satisfying to watch it all come together.
Absolutely. And Grace?
I would say I think meeting new people, because a lot of times when I make documentaries, I get to meet all these interesting people, and then being able to have like a really in-depth conversation with them while interviewing them is one of my favorite parts.
For the two filmmakers who had documentaries in the program this year, I want to ask if your subjects have seen your film and how they reacted to that. We can start with you, Gabrielle. You've got the interesting thing about it being about your family. How did your family react to your film?
I thought that, because my dad and my grandma had such a huge part in it, I thought that my dad would be pretty supportive and generally very receptive to it. And I didn't even tell my grandma that I was making it until I was done. And then I actually, I showed it to her. And she had a much more toned down reaction about it than I thought she would have. And my dad, complete opposite, did other side of the spectrum, supportive, thought it was interesting, but was also like, really, this is the story you decided to tell about us, and why did you drag me into it? But I thought it was really interesting, and I kind of inserted myself into the family narrative a little bit, which was my goal for this project. And it was a perspective that was accepted by, most importantly, my grandmother, which was really important to me. So
that's awesome. And what about you, Grace? Did you have your subjects seen your film?
Yeah, I showed it to them after I finished editing it, and they had a really positive reaction to it, because I think it was a story that they also wanted to tell. Because being from that area, they witness wildfires a lot, and they have seen it become a bigger problem over the years. So I think being able to tell their story for them was really gratifying, and I think they put it on their website for a while. So it was really nice to see that positive reaction from them.
That's awesome. Ava, I want to talk to you about the actresses in your film. They're really incredible. I think that they do a really great job capturing this, this young spirit. Obviously, they are young women, but I want to ask how you cast your film.
Well, we sent out applications online, and we got lots of people who applied. And then it kind of blew up too far, too big. So we just kind of went with people I already knew, that I've already worked with before. And it was great because these girls who we eventually chose, we kind of wanted to fit their personality to the character's personality. And also these girls, they've known each other previously. They've worked in films and plays with each other before. So they were already really great friends, it was a great coincidence, because it really helps make a more organic friendship on screen look great. Yeah.
Incredible. And Spencer, what draws you to animation? Why do you want to work in that field?
Animation for me I've always loved drawing since I was a little kid, and it just like allows me to kind of like put whatever is in my brain out there, and it just like allows me to like, it's the most like freeing creative expression to me that I have, and it's like also just really satisfying, like watching stuff come together. It's like a little like Frankenstein or something.
Yeah,
like coming to life. It's really cool.
Absolutely. I want to ask you all the same question now. What about your film are you most proud of? We will start with Grace.
I think I'm most proud of just being able to get the story across, because sometimes in the editing room and with shooting that much footage for a documentary style film, it's a lot to sort through. And I think our story changed a couple of times in the process of making it. So being able to like tell the story the way we wanted it to be told, and getting the emotion across was really important for me. And yeah, just seeing people's reactions as well, and knowing that they have receive that message and they understand the story and everything is really great. So I think that's the part I'm most proud of.
Awesome. And Spencer?
I think I'm most proud of the fact that I made a film that my friends like to watch and that like I think I would like to watch if I didn't make it. Well, also I'd like to watch. I don't really watch anymore because kind of like watching your own films is a little like, oh, I see the errors and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm just really proud that I was able to make something that like felt very true to myself, and it's like, yeah, it's just exactly what I pictured I wanted to make, and I'm really happy with that.
Absolutely. And Gabrielle?
I would say personally, I'm very proud of the audio editing in it because I spent way too much time on it, but it's something that, you know, is really personal and you actually can't really decipher when you watch the film over. So more broadly, I would say I'm very proud of how the film was received within my family and that it was seen as like a legitimate viewpoint and opinion and just a smart thing to say. So I'm probably very proud of that.
Absolutely. And Ava?
Well, I'm quite proud of the fact that it almost came out of as like a comedy in the end. It wasn't originally written for that, but also because of lockdown and COVID and all of this, when people watch my film, it's, I don't know, I want to make them laugh, kind of take them out of that world that they've been full of for the last few years. And I'm proud to say that I hope it did that. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you another question about your film. It's really, to me, it's really ambitious, especially for such a young filmmaker to make a period piece like this. Can you talk about, you know, some of the challenges of making a period piece? And I'd love to know about the setting in the tea shop in the little village that we get to at the end.
Well, for some reason, all of my films that I have made are kind of period pieces. I don't know why, I just love to make period pieces. But where I live it's pretty old, I must say. We shot it in an old village that I live near, and the tea shop is actually a working tea shop. And so we kind of just paid the owner like I don't know, £50 so we could use it for the morning. And it was already pretty period looking already, so it was really great. But yeah, I don't know, I just love making period things, and yeah, it's just where I live is great because I've got the countryside which you see in the film, but I've also got old villages, which is really helpful when you're making a period piece.
And the costumes, did you have a connection with somebody that had those kind of costumes? Or
well, it's great because about half an hour away from my house there's this massive barn and costume place. It's just got loads of costumes in, so we hired them, and yeah, they were really helpful and they made it look amazing.
That's incredible. Gabrielle, I really like the style and the look of your film. How did you decide on that look and the vibes of the film?
I would say it was very inspired by my grandmother's artwork. And also I sort of gravitated towards that sort of storybook presentation and like past projects. So it was something that I just sort of enjoyed working with. And the, you know, the font choices and the image layering, and it sort of looked like a collage, was sort of inspired by how my grandmother approached, you know, tapestry and painting, where she didn't just use one medium, even if she was doing a watercolor. And it sort of encouraged me to just, you know, look beyond just making a film and actually like, you know, making each frame into its own little painting.
Absolutely. And Spencer, your artwork has a very specific style as well too, kind of a lot of different styles. How did you cultivate your the style in the film, and where does that come from? I know I'm betting some of it comes from the inspiration of you know, Adult Swim and that sort of thing. But where does the actual look of the artwork come from?
So my art is really inspired by like a lot of, it's just like basically a collage of everything that I like. Like the thick lines I use are like really inspired by like the old cartoons I used to watch. And then like I'm just really into super bright colors. And then like some of the scenes, I took like some of the scenes were very heavily inspired by like certain scenes from movies and stuff. So it's kind of like a collage of everything. And then also like the stop motion parts that I included in there. I got like really into stop motion. I just thought it would be like I just love the look of like kind of clay. It's just like kind of imperfect, but in like a really cool way. And I just thought that would blend well with like my kind of clean line work in an interesting
And how
combination.
long did the claymation and animation process actually take?
So the animation, each scene basically I would do like I spent like a week on each like little clip.
Wow.
And then but like for the one of the big stop motion scenes with like the blue guy with the green background, that took me like a day to sculpt. I sculpted it and filmed it on the same day, but then it took like a week to go. I had to go frame by frame and edit every single frame. So it took like another week. But yeah. I think all in all the process took like it took me from like this February to May of this year.
Wow, it's a lot of patience. Grace, I always find it. I find documentary filmmaking so interesting because I know that there's so much footage that you end up with in the end. How long did you spend with this couple filming, and how many hours did you have that ended up in this under 5 minute short, right?
Yes. So we went back, with, I don't even know, but I think several hours of film and then B-roll on top of that. And then the editing process is actually what took the longest for me. It took around twice as long to edit as it did to film, just because you have to go through all that footage and transcribe it and then put it all together into an edit. So I think that part took the longest, but filming it was maybe like within a few weeks. We went back several times and then got all the footage we needed.
Awesome. Well, that's incredible. Well, I want to thank you all so much for being here today. I'm going to ask you my last question, which is about the future, which is always uncertain, but bright for all of you, I'm sure. What are you working on now? What can we expect from you in the future? And I'm really interested to know, for those of you that are in college and university, what you are studying. For those of you that are about to, that are headed towards that path, what you would like to study, and if you want to make filmmaking your career. We'll start with you, Ava.
Well, I've just recently shot, so I'm currently working on post-production for another period film. It's about the founder of Alcoholics Anonymous back in 1930, so that should be good. But yeah, at the moment, I think, yeah, I definitely want to think about film directing and writing for a career. And when I turn 16, there is a lovely film school down in London, which I really hope to go to. So that would, yeah, help me build my skills, and we'll just take it from there.
Awesome. And Gabrielle?
I started university this year, and I'm in first year humanities at the University of Toronto, and I'm in a program that's focusing on arts and society. So through that program, you're encouraged to explore multiple different artistic mediums, which is great for me because I'm a business owner. I run my own fashion design company here in the city, and I work with glam rock bands, and I make sustainable clothing. And so in the future, I'm probably going to continue to work in film, in fashion, in photography. And I'm currently working on a project that's similar to this one, but on my mom's side of the family. And I'm looking at my grandmother's old dresses. So I'm expecting to have something done for that around February, but I don't really know what shape that's going to take yet, as I'm still just in the initial thought process stage.
That's really incredible. And what about you, Spencer?
Right now, I've actually partnered with some of my close friends and classmates, and we're doing a longer form animated short. Should be like about 5 to 6 minutes. And actually, yesterday I was just doing character designs, and it's like a very large cast. It should be really fun, and I'm really excited about that. So that should be done in May, but we just started it. And then I'm in my senior year of high school, so I'm working on college applications. I'm gonna try to pursue animation.
Oh, that's awesome. And what about you, Grace?
Right now, I'm still kind of working with documentary form filmmaking. I really like exploring issues like climate change or something that affects my community. So that's kind of what I'm working on at the moment. And then I'm also a senior in high school, so I'm also doing college apps. And I think I'm gonna go towards like communications and filmmaking in college. So I'm still kind of in that realm.
Well, awesome. Well, I'm so excited to see what all of you guys do next and what, what amazing things will surely come from you all in the future. It sounds, I mean, I think I want to be all of you guys when I grow up at this point. So, and thank you all so much for talking with us today and for sharing your wonderful films. Thank you all out there for watching, for tuning in, and for supporting Tallgrass.